Straight ahead on 12 News.
Let's do it. Back straight, head up.
A Brooklyn Park woman and her amazing weight loss story. Plus, a story of giving that brought two families close together and saved a Brooklyn Center girl's life. But first, an officer-involved shooting in Brooklyn Center. 12 News starts right now. A man was shot and killed by police early Friday morning in Brooklyn Center.
It happened after a traffic stop near Shingle Creek Parkway and Interstate 694, not far from where another man was killed the night before in a separate case. 12 News reporter Carissa Wyant has more. Carissa?
Mike and Shannon, this was the second time in the span of 24 hours that police were called to the area, and also the second time in 24 hours that there was a fatal shooting in Brooklyn Center. Police conducted a traffic stop shortly before 2:30 this morning near the intersection of Shingle Creek Parkway and the entrance ramp to westbound I-94. The Hennepin Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation. Major Kip Carver says a struggle ensued between Brooklyn Center police and the man who was stopped. That's when there was gunfire and the suspect was killed. Police have not said if the unidentified man was carrying a weapon or why he was pulled over. And at this time, the Sheriff's Office has not released any further details on the incident. That intersection has been reopened to traffic after being closed for about 10 hours. And Mike and Shannon, the last time an individual was shot and killed by police in Brooklyn Center was last May. That's when a man walking down 53rd and Emerson with a rifle was killed by police after refusing to drop the weapon. Mike?
All right, thank you. Now, this morning's fatal shooting came on the heels of a shooting Thursday just a few hundred feet away. Brooklyn Center police say the two shootings are totally unrelated. In the earlier case, police are still looking for the person who shot and killed a man about 3:30 Thursday morning. Police say they're continuing to track down leads. After the victim was shot, police say he knocked on the back door of the Super 8 motel on James Circle looking for help. Officers tried to resuscitate him, but he died at the scene. No official identity has been released, but the Star Tribune identifies the victim as Michael McGowan of Minneapolis. Police say a handgun was apparently used, and if you have any information, you are asked to call the Brooklyn Center Crime Tips line at 503-3115.
Brooklyn Park police are warning about a new scam involving your credit card. Police say residents have received a call from someone claiming to be from the fraud department of Visa or MasterCard. They say your card has been flagged because of an unusual purchase pattern. Then they ask for the 3-digit security code on the back of the credit card, but that's something you should never give out. Police say the scammers already have some information about you, but that security code is what they need to make charges to your account.
A big road project forced the Fishbach family out of their longtime farm along Highway 169 in Brooklyn Park. Now road construction is taking a big bite out of their summer profits. Charlie Fishbach's corn and vegetable stand is popular in the Northwest Metro, but he says road construction near his new stand along the Brooklyn Park-Osseo border has reduced summer sales. He hopes to open up a second stand on the corner of West Broadway and 93rd Avenue in Brooklyn Park.
Business has been a little bit slow. We've been down about 65%. We're probably 35% of what we used to sell, just because the road's closed and we obviously moved different location.
On Monday, Brooklyn Park will consider a 30-day vendor permit at the new location, and that should take him through the rest of the season.
A shakeup in online media is expected to result in some cuts locally. AOL will reportedly close or consolidate half of its 25 patch websites in Minnesota, unless those sites find a media partner. It would affect staff operating Golden Valley and Plymouth's patch sites. Maple Grove would continue to operate as usual. Patch started back in 2007 and focused on providing hyper-local news content online. For some African American immigrants, adjusting to U.S. culture is not easy.
Those hardships can be seen in a new movie filmed in Brooklyn Center. It's called Boys Cry. And as Eric Nelson reports now, the movie centers around a local actor who experienced hardships himself.
What's up, Africa?
Boys Cry has a powerful message.
I'm starting to think you're trying to avoid me. Man's talking to you.
The film's goal is to get people to take a stance against bullying, which some kids deal with on a daily basis.
Sounds to me like Africa got some money.
We hope that it becomes a movement and where people will come, be inspired by the movie, and start going out there and taking some action.
I know most of the time we wait for politicians. I know most of the time we wait for dad and moms to do something. But you have a voice. you can stand up.
Boys Cry zeroes in on African American bullying of African students, which is prevalent in some Twin Cities schools, and it spotlights the real-life acrimony between these groups.
There's a lot of Africans that sort of look down on African Americans because they come here and they're working very hard and they see that there's a lot of opportunity that they feel they don't take advantage of. But then at the same token, there's some African Americans that feel that Africans are coming over here and taking the opportunities, or that they think they're better than them. And so we see that there's a disconnect.
Benjamin Ronda, played by Elijah Conde, is the movie's main character. Growing up in the Twin Cities, Conde himself was often bullied. However, in African culture, it is taboo for boys to ask for help.
Particularly in the African homes and immigrant homes, you don't see a dialogue around bullying, and young people don't really come out and say that's what's happening to them, but they're suffering.
Boys Cry was shot right here in Brooklyn Center and in neighboring Brooklyn Park. The movie's budget was almost $15,000, and all of the actors and actresses volunteered their time. Their motivation isn't cash, it is to raise awareness about bullying.
Issues with different cultures, issues with looking different, speaking a different language, and so it is severe. We've seen on the news that people have gone to school and have started shooting. We've seen people commit suicide. We've seen a lot of things.
In Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, 12 News.
And Boys Cry has been nominated for 11 awards at September's African Oscars. A screening of the movie will be held Sunday night at 7 p.m. at Brooklyn Center High School. And for more information, go to our website, 12.tv. Well, coming up, a Brooklyn Center girl's birthday gift that may have been 4 days late, but also saved her life.
And then later in sports, local soccer teams look to get their season started in style.
But first, the heat is on, and your AccuWeather forecast is expected to be the warmest last week of August since 1948. The story of a Brooklyn Center girl remains a medical mystery.
Hallie Anderson needed a liver transplant when, for some reason, hers failed. It's because of that transplant Hallie took part in a special dedication Thursday night for organ donors. Neil Persley has more.
Now I'm extremely grateful, but when I was younger, I was really mad.
When Hallie Anderson was 11, her liver began to fail. Doctors didn't know why. She needed a liver transplant.
I didn't want it, but now that I'm older and now that I realize that I could have died, I'm extremely thankful.
4 days after her 12th birthday, she received a liver from Kayla Borgerson, whose young life was cut short by a car accident in 2008.
Since that time, our life has just been very different. She's doing extremely well and is, going to be a junior this year, and her health is perfect.
Hallie and Kayla's parents were both in attendance at a dedication for HCMC's Wall of Heroes.
And Chris wrote a letter on the guest book from a very grateful mother. Yeah. And I replied back.
Kayla's tragedy and gift of life has brought these two families together in a special way.
We've been really close. We've gone to her birthday parties. We went camping with them.
It's good to see Hallie so healthy. It's good to see that Kayla's liver went from one good soul to another good soul.
Sue offered input on the wall's design.
I remember suggesting the digital monitor because then a wall would never fill up and this would be endless.
If I could say anything to Kayla, I think I'd say thank you, and she was a very good person.
Two families brought together at the wall to celebrate the lives of two daughters. One made possible by the gift of organ donation.
Just gotta thank God every day for the breath that you breathe.
In Minneapolis, Neil Persley, 12 News.
Hallie is doing fine, and she plans to be on the cheerleading team this fall for Brooklyn Center High School. So it's good to see her doing so well. We've kind of followed her progress over the years, and she's grown up. She's doing great.
Good for her.
Yeah. Coming up, a Brooklyn Park woman is in the national spotlight for losing more than 100 pounds in a year. See what she does to work out.
But first in sports, Maple Grove's football team looks ready to become a consistent winner. Jay Wilcox has a team preview coming up next. The The soccer season is underway, and Park Center's off to a good start.
Yeah, not a bad way to open the season. Jump out right fast start here. School hasn't started yet, but fall games do begin in August. Park Center boys soccer team was looking to get the season started on the right foot as the Pirates played at Fridley. Sam Moses takes the throw in from Joe Dixon here. He turns and makes a beautiful crossing pass to Percy Callan for the header. The Pirates go up by a 3-0 count. In the second half, Alec Tau leads Moses up the right side. Moses turns on the speed to beat the defender, and he'll tuck a low shot home for a 4-0 Park Center lead. The Pirates continue to put some pressure on, but have some tough luck. Samuel Ben's free kick off the crossbar. It goes to Alexander Zolnowski, and he hits the crossbar too. Tigers goalkeeper Adolfo Lara comes up big, stopping the penalty kick and then getting some help from his defender, but no matter, Park Center rolls to a 4-0 win. Meanwhile, Maple Grove's boys getting their season started at Orono. First half, a corner kick for the Crimson. Garrett Maupin serves it up. Carson Thomas with the header, and it's 1-0 Maple Grove, and that's the final as MG wins its season opener. The soccer teams at Cooper and Heritage Christian Academy have played each other to start the season for the past several years. The Hawks girls on their home field in New Hope to open the season against Heritage. Haley Sundquist plays the ball ahead to her sister Lindsay, and she's ahead of the Heritage defense. Lindsay Sundquist has all day to line this one up, and she doesn't miss on the breakaway chance, giving Cooper a 1-0 halftime lead. Second half, and Lexi Whitney drops a pass over to Nicole Schneider. Eagles keeper Madison Lee is aggressive but can't cover it, and Schneider puts it in for a 2-goal lead. Later, the pass deflects off a defender, and Maddie Boylan is there to bury it under the crossbar as Cooper takes a 3-0 victory. In the boys' game, Cooper hoping for a similar result, but late in the first half, Heritage strikes as the ball is played ahead to Tyler Furry. He takes his time and will tuck a left-footed shot low on the far side for a 1-0 Eagles lead. And they aren't done yet. Nick Wilson plays it around the defender and has some room to run. Wilson also goes low with his shot to score with 19 seconds left in the half. Heritage gets 2 goals in less than 2 minutes, and they win it 3-0. Matt Lombardi came over from Wayzata's strong program to jumpstart Maple Grove's football program in 2011. The Crimson took a big step forward last season, winning their division of the Northwest Suburban Conference. What will they do for an encore? Here's today's training camp report. The first step toward becoming a consistent winner, expecting to win. And that's where Maple Grove is at right now.
Lombo has definitely changed program over, and I think just winning is we're just used to it, and that's the expectation.
I think probably the biggest change was last year was a group that was coming uphill. They were 1-17 as sophomores, and they just battled and battled and battled, and they had a great year. But now I think we had a whole off season where we think we belong, and I think that's been the biggest difference. So I think our kids have prepared with a lot higher expectations.
The Crimson won the Northwest Suburban Conference's first North Division title last season, and they have a good group back from that team. Guard Cam Garlick leads a good offensive line, with Jake Sterling returning at tight end. Fullback Tyler Coyne is a bruiser, and Clark Winnicky, the younger brother of graduated standout receiver Jake, will be a featured running back. The defense has 7 starters back. Some of the key guys include linebackers Emmanuel Erich and Peter Olson, lineman Blake Whitecotton, and Jake Engelken in the secondary. It's a formidable group.
We want the best athletes we possibly can get on the defensive side of the ball and let them fly around and make plays. And they've been around now. They're starting to learn the system, and so it's kind of fun to watch them. They're starting to get the speed that I expect on that side of the ball.
With the help of a loss to Osseo that turned into a forfeit win, Maple Grove entered the playoffs undefeated last fall. But they were overrun by Lake Conference last-place finisher Minnetonka in round 2. They know there's still work to be done to match the elite programs in the state.
They're very successful programs, and every day we try to get better and try to compare ourselves to those guys because they're very good, and we're trying to be on their level.
Expect a strong season from Maple Grove, and this time around it will be no surprise. Coach Lombardi starts his third season with the program. 4 offensive and 7 defensive starters return. Maple Grove opens at home against Armstrong next Thursday night. And speaking of Armstrong, the Falcons will be featured on Monday's training camp report. So Maple Grove looking solid. I expect them to be very solid.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Up next, a weight loss story you'll have to see to believe.
See the difference a year makes for one dedicated Brooklyn Park woman up next.
The future Travail restaurant in Robbinsdale may be under construction right now, but that's not stopping owners from cooking up some fun this weekend. Travail will host a block party this Saturday. It's being billed as the Party in the Parking Lot. It'll be going on from 2 to 8 Saturday in the Travail parking lot off of Broadway. $2 gets you in. There will be tasty treats from Travail, Surly Beer, and karaoke as well. Brooklyn Park woman has accomplished what some may have thought was impossible.
Dawn Bryant lost more than 100 pounds in only a year, and she's been in the national spotlight because of it. We tagged along with Dawn at her gym to see how she did it.
Let's do it. Back straight, head up. Now throw it. There you go.
Every day, Dawn Bryant can see proof
Now push yourself. Ah!
that
Give it
she's
to me. Let's
truly
go.
flipped her life
All the way.
around.
I was size 22 and I weighed 266 pounds.
This Brooklyn Park woman struggled with her weight most of her life.
When you're heavy, you don't necessarily put it out there that it bothers you, but it grates on you, and that's what it did for me for so many years.
But Dawn knew she had to make a change.
My health is not good. I'm going up 8 steps in my house, and I'm getting winded, and that's a little scary. And I'm afraid to get any blood work done at the doctor's office because I'm afraid of what it might say.
She credits her personal trainer, Jason Burgoon, with helping her make a life change.
He believed in me more than I believed in me, which is, I think, what I needed.
3.
Dawn started working out 6 days a week, accomplishing feats she didn't dream of before.
I love boxing. I love hitting things. That sounds violent, but actually it's really fun, and it's a great cardio workout.
Hold it. Don't let me push you down. 4.
Dawn logs her workout time as well as her eating habits, writing down every bite she eats.
For me, it couldn't be about a diet. It couldn't be about any fad plans. It couldn't even be actually about reaching a weight goal. My original goal when I walked in the door was to get healthy. And getting healthy to me meant new habits.
Dawn has been very open online about her weight loss, and it caught the attention of national media. She was featured in a bikini in People magazine.
You have to stop and think, like, is this really happening?
But it is, and Dawn continues to be inspired by what she's accomplished.
I was winded after 8 stairs in my house a little more than a year ago, and on Sunday we calculated we ran almost 3,500 stairs in a morning, actually in an hour.
Push yourself. Good.
Dawn was also featured on Good Morning America and in a few local news outlets, but you can catch her at her favorite breakfast place here in Brooklyn Park, Fat Nats. And she says she's found a way to eat there every week and still keep that into her routine, keep her weight in check.
That's amazing. That doesn't just happen. It's a lot of work.
Hey, she's worked hard.
Whew.
All right, that's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Community Corner's up next.